All right, well, let's go now to Illinois, and we'll talk with Randy. Hi, Randy. What do you got for us today?
Hey, Andrew. I have a question. It seems this context is, well, I want the context from you. Jesus says, in my house are many mansions, and if I go, I prepare a place for you, I'll come again. And I just kind of wonder, why does he say that, and it doesn't feel like it goes together?
And what do you mean by doesn't go together? Oh,
In my house are many mansions, and then the next phrase is like, in my house are, or I mean, see, I'm already confused, but
okay. Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, well, yeah, it's because of a bad translation. You look at the original language here, and it's really in my father's house there are many rooms. That's the best way to look at it because you're right. The whole passage kind of breaks down and doesn't make sense. It seems like we Christians were taught, maybe growing up in Sunday school, we were taught that everybody's going to get their individual mansion. Like I'm going to be, oh boy, I'm done a lot for God, so I'm going to be up in Beverly Heavens. And then somebody else who didn't do as much, they might be across the tracks. They'll be over there in one-story purgatory, and if they improve themselves, maybe they'll make it over to Beverly Heavens over here. So, we were taught you're going to get more square footage, you'll get a bigger mansion, a bigger kingdom, all this stuff. And really, that's not what Jesus is teaching. He's teaching unity. He's saying, in my Father's house, which is one house, in my Father's house there are many rooms. So you're going to have a nice room. There'll be plenty of space to spread out. You don't have to worry about being cramped. Real estate is not expensive. God can afford it. And he's got this whole thing figured out. But the bottom line is that it's not about collecting jewelry to hang around your neck. It's not about collecting crowns to stack on your head. It's not about square footage in everybody's mansion. It's about unity as the body of Christ. And so really we should be reading this, in my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. So this word is best translated as rooms or dwelling places, not mansions. And that's really the problem that you've encountered even in reading it when there's a bad translation. The paragraph doesn't even make any sense. So I'm glad you brought that to light. And I guess what I want all of us to take away from this is that we don't need to be thinking about mansions and square footage and jewelry and crowns. Even when you look at crowns, the crown of righteousness, well, who is our righteousness? Jesus is. How about the crown of life? Well, who is our life? Jesus is. Well, what about the crown of glory? Well, who's our glory? Well, Jesus is our glory. And so these crowns are symbolic, and they represent who Christ is to us. And that is exactly why in the book of Revelation, in this vision that John has, you have 24 elders that they cast these crowns at the feet of Jesus, like frisbees. They just toss them. And they say all glory and honor is due him, because the crowns are really a picture of Christ.